What if your memory isn't fading because of age, but because your brain has been sending you warnings that you've quietly ignored? Memory loss rarely begins overnight. It starts with subtle, invisible shifts in how your mind processes daily life. Little lapses that seem harmless until they become patterns. Most people only notice memory problems when they interfere with work or relationships. But the truth is, your brain often whispers before it shouts. And if you learn to recognize these early signs, you can stop decline long before it becomes serious. Today, we'll uncover the 7 early warning signs of memory loss that most people overlook. The subtle messages your brain sends when it is tired, stressed, or undernourished. Some of them might sound familiar. And by the end of this video, you'll understand what they mean and how to protect your brain before it's too late. Sign 1. Forgetting. Recent events or conversations. Everyone forgets things, but when you start forgetting recent events, conversations from earlier in the day, what you had for lunch, or why you walked into a room, that's your hippocampus asking for help. The hippocampus is your brain's memory gatekeeper. It decides what's worth keeping and what to discard. When you're sleep-deprived, stressed, or mentally overloaded, this system weakens. The result: new information never gets properly stored. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University found that even mild sleep deprivation can cut hippocampal activity by nearly 40%. So, when you can't recall something from a few hours ago, it's not just getting older, it is a sign your brain didn't have enough energy to encode that moment. Brain fact: the brain only holds new information for about 30 seconds unless it is reinforced through repetition or emotion. Tip: when learning something important, repeat it out loud or visualize it vividly. Your brain strengthens what it experiences twice. Sign 2. Difficulty concentrating or staying focused. If your attention feels scattered, your thoughts drift, or you find yourself rereading the same sentence without absorbing it, that's not laziness. It's a sign of cognitive fatigue. Focus and memory share the same circuitry. Without focus, there is no memory. Neuroscientists from Stanford University have shown that multitasking and constant notifications can reduce the brain's ability to filter distractions, leaving it in a constant state of low-level stress. That stress floods your brain with cortisol, a hormone that keeps you alert in emergencies but erodes memory when it stays high. Over time, this constant alert mode makes your brain mistake noise for importance, storing irrelevant details while losing track of what matters. Brain fact: the modern human attention span has dropped from 12 seconds to about 8, shorter than that of a goldfish. Tip: train your focus with silence. Spend 10 minutes a day doing one task with no interruptions. Reading, breathing, or observing. Your brain will start to rebuild its natural rhythm of attention. Sign 3. Frequently misplacing objects. When losing your keys becomes a daily habit, your brain is sending a spatial warning. You're not just forgetting, you're failing to link context and memory. Normally, your parietal and prefrontal lobes create a mental map, connecting objects to their location. But when these areas are underactive from stress, fatigue, or inflammation, the map fades faster. A study from the University of Toronto found that chronic stress decreases communication between these brain regions, increasing the chance of misplacing objects by up to 30%. Brain fact: memory uses context as an anchor. The more senses involved when you store a memory, the stronger the recall. Tip: when you put something down, anchor it consciously. Say, "I'm leaving my phone on the desk." That brief moment of mindfulness strengthens your brain's location recall. Sign 4. Trouble finding words or expressing thoughts. You know the word you want to say, but it slips away right before it reaches your lips. This tip-of-the-tongue moment happens to everyone, but when it's frequent, it points to slowed neural communication. Language relies on the Broca's area and temporal lobes, which connect vocabulary, sound, and meaning. When these networks are undernourished, from stress, nutrient deficiency, or poor oxygenation, verbal retrieval slows down. A Harvard study found that low levels of vitamin B12 and omega-3 fatty acids significantly impair word recall and verbal fluency. So if you find yourself pausing mid-sentence more often, it might not be forgetfulness. It's your neurons signaling they're underfueled. Brain fact: the average brain processes over 70,000 words of internal dialogue per day. Energy shortage makes that process lag. Tip: support your brain's language centers with B vitamins, omega-3s, and deep breathing. Oxygen is brain currency. Sign 5: mental fatigue and brain fog. That heavy, cloudy feeling where thinking feels slow, that's brain fog, and it's more than tiredness. It's your brain's equivalent of a power outage. Your brain has no backup battery. It relies on a steady flow of glucose, oxygen, and hydration to function. When any of these are disrupted, neurons slow down communication, creating a sensation of confusion or dullness. A University of Cambridge study revealed that even mild dehydration, as little as 2% body fluid loss, can temporarily shrink brain tissue and reduce short-term memory. Brain fact: the brain accounts for just 2% of body weight, but consumes 20% of its total energy. Tip: keep water and healthy snacks nearby. Your brain's best fuel is consistency, not extremes of fasting or caffeine spikes.
Sign 6: repeating questions or stories. Repetition is one of the most overlooked early signs of memory trouble. It happens when the brain fails to consolidate short-term information into long-term storage. This process takes place mainly during sleep, especially in deep stages when the brain replays the day's experiences in rhythmic waves. If sleep is disrupted or too short, those recordings never solidify. According to the Mayo Clinic, repetitive questions often indicate weakened short-term memory buffers, like a tape recorder looping over the same fragment because it never recorded the rest. Brain fact: during deep sleep, electrical pulses called sleep spindles replay the brain's daily data, transforming short-term experiences into permanent memories. Tip: prioritize deep, uninterrupted sleep. It's not luxury, it's brain maintenance. Sign 7: emotional changes and disconnection. When you start feeling emotionally flat, easily irritated, or less interested in things you once loved, your brain might be struggling, not your heart. Emotions and memory share the same wiring. The amygdala and hippocampus constantly communicate, attaching meaning to memories. When chronic stress, loneliness, or inflammation disrupts that link, emotional numbness or volatility appears often hand in hand with forgetfulness. Researchers at the University of Geneva discovered that emotional imbalance often predicts cognitive decline years before measurable memory loss. It's not mood, it's neurochemistry asking for balance. Brain fact: prolonged isolation increases memory decline risk by up to 26% due to reduced neural stimulation. Tip: reconnect. Conversation, music, laughter, they all activate neural circuits that keep your brain emotionally and cognitively alive. Memory loss doesn't announce itself with a single event. It creeps in quietly through small lapses, subtle fatigue, and moments we shrug off. But these signs are not random. They are messages from your brain asking for rest, fuel, and focus. The good news: the brain is remarkably adaptable. Through neuroplasticity, it can repair damaged pathways, form new connections, and even grow stronger. But that change starts with awareness. Pay attention to these signals, not with fear, but with curiosity. Every small step you take toward better sleep, movement, nutrition, and connection helps your brain recover clarity and resilience. Because your memory isn't just data, it's your life's narrative. Protect it, strengthen it, live consciously with it. If you found this video helpful, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, we share science-based insights to help you strengthen your memory, improve focus, and unlock your brain's full potential.